What if a greater security risk in your IBM environment is the belief that it's already secure? IBM remains one of the most secure and resilient business platforms available. But with ransomware, increased connectivity, and AI-assisted attacks, reputation alone is no longer enough. In this video, we will look at the real risks and how organizations can move from assumed security to managed, measurable protection. Today, we examine why IBM security matters more than it ever did in the age of AI. IBM can be highly secure, but it still needs the right controls, monitoring, and governance. The question is how we can move from assuming we are secure to being able to measure and prove it. Now, according to IBM's 2026 Cost of Data Breach Report, the global average cost of a breach is almost $5 million. IBM highlights 4 priorities: identify security, data security, security automation, and resilience. That means controlling who has access, protecting sensitive information, detecting threats quickly, and being prepared to recover when something goes wrong. The threat landscape is also becoming more active. IBM reported significant increases in attacks against public-facing applications and in active ransomware and extortion groups. Verizon also found that software vulnerabilities and ransomware are involved in a substantial proportion of breaches. So the message is clear. Monitoring, access control, alerting, and data protection are now essential business safeguards, not simply technical improvements. IBM has a long-standing reputation for security and resilience, but that reputation can create a dangerous assumption. IBM is highly securable, but it's not automatically secure in every environment. Common weaknesses include excessive authority, shared accounts, uncontrolled exit points, exposed IFS data, unencrypted information, and audit activity that is collected but never reviewed. The issue is rarely the platform itself, it's how the platform has been configured, governed, and monitored. Now, IBM provides strong native security controls, but having a control is not the same as using it effectively. An audit journal provides little protection if nobody reviews it. Powerful authority becomes a risk if it's never reassessed. An old file share may remain exposed long after its original purpose has disappeared. Operational security means making those controls visible, consistent, monitored, and reportable. Indeed, this need for active management has become even more important with AI. In the past, IBM has benefited from being a specialist platform understood by a relatively small community. But AI is changing all that. It makes technical knowledge easier to obtain and gives the attacker new ways to research unfamiliar systems more quickly. So, AI has changed the risk equation, but it has not made IBM an insecure platform. What it has done is make weak security easier to understand and discover. Attackers can ask better questions, interpret unfamiliar environments, and identify weaknesses more quickly. The platform itself remains strong, but obscurity is no longer a defense. An attacker no longer needs years of IBM experience to understand the basics of the platform. AI can explain commands, user profiles, object authorities, the IFS, exit points, and security models. It shortens the learning curve and makes specialist knowledge available to a much wider group of potential attackers. In addition, AI can also accelerate reconnaissance. It can organize research, interpret technical information, and suggest areas to investigate, including exposed services, file shares, exit points, privilege profiles, and weak monitoring too. And no, AI does not create those weaknesses, but it can make them easier to find. If attackers can investigate faster, it's important that defenders understand that their own exposure first. And of course, AI also gives attackers greater speed and scale. Now, many IBM estates have evolved over the decades. Access is granted, services are opened, and authorities accumulate. But those decisions are not always revisited. AI makes it more important to remove unnecessary exposure before someone else finds it. More speed, more scale, more risk. IBM I is also more connected than ever through APIs, cloud services, file sharing, web applications, and third-party systems. And sure, those connections enable the business to operate, but each one also needs to be understood, controlled, and monitored. Security must therefore extend beyond user profiles to include the exit points, the IFS access, network activity, object security, and data protection too. The answer? Don't panic, it's discipline. Effective IBM I security requires visibility, control, and protection. Visibility means knowing who has access, what they can do, and where sensitive data is held. Control means applying least privilege and removing unnecessary authority. And protection means monitoring activity, securing critical data, and producing clear evidence for security teams, auditors, and business leaders. So, as we talked about earlier, the global cost of data breach reached nearly $5 billion in 2026. This is an increase of 12% over the previous year. IBM estimates that costs at around $1,100 per hour, with detection, escalation, and lost business accounting for almost 2/3 of the total. More than 1 in 4 malicious attacks are now AI driven, representing a 56% increase in just 1 year. Deepfake impersonations and AI-enabled malware were amongst the most common methods. These attacks are becoming faster, more scalable, and easier to launch. There is a clear lesson here. If attackers are moving at machine speed, defenders must do the same. But what does this mean practically? Well, first, organizations need to manage who has access and ensure that authority remains appropriate. Second, they need visibility of connections for data flows and sensitive information. And third, they must detect suspicious activity, respond quickly, and produce reliable evidence for audit and compliance. In simple terms, control access, protect data, and monitor activity. This is where the Fresche Security Suite becomes valuable. It helps organizations move from assumption to evidence, from manual checks to repeatable processes, and from reactive security to active management. Through a central web console, it provides compliance reporting, user profile management, real-time monitoring, encryption, masking, multi-factor authentication, and complete audit traceability. The Fresche Security Suite has been designed specifically for IBM I and addresses the areas where risks commonly appear, including ransomware protection, exit points, auditing, encryption, SIEM integration, and multi-factor authentication. It provides one practical framework for understanding access, protecting data, and proving that controls are working. The suite improves visibility. IBM security information can be spread across multiple system values, user profiles, object authorities, audit journals, and of course exit point activity. If that information is difficult to see, if it's difficult to manage, then there's the problem. Fresche brings it together through clearer reports, dashboards, and alerts. The result, of course, is better visibility, stronger access controls, faster detection, and clearer evidence. For many organizations, IBM is where business runs. Protecting IBM is therefore not simply an IT concern, it's a business resilience issue. The value here is not simply another security product, it's security that is easier to manage, govern, and prove. So the case for IBM security tooling is not simply about improving technology. It is a business risk decision, an investment in protecting the organization. The case for such a solution? Well, first, it helps reduce risk. It can prevent unauthorized access, limit the impact of compromised accounts, control powerful users, and protect sensitive information. Secondly, it improves visibility and governance. Security teams can monitor network and exit point activity, detect suspicious behavior sooner, produce clearer audit evidence, and meet compliance requirements more effectively. Third, it strengthens resilience and confidence. Organizations need to be prepared for ransomware, data theft, and AI-assisted threats. Rather than relying on security through obscurity, strong IBM security is not simply technical protection, it is the confidence that the systems supporting the business are properly controlled. So IBM remains a strong and highly secure platform, but security still needs to be actively configured, governed, and monitored. IBM systems are increasingly connected, and in the AI era, weaknesses are becoming easier to discover and exploit. Effective tooling closes that gap by improving visibility, access control, auditing, detection, and data protection. The Fresche Security Suite brings those capabilities together in one joined-up approach designed specifically for the IBM. And you can begin by discovering where your organization stands today with a free IBM security audit using the Fresche Security Suite. This guided assessment reviews 47 critical points across the environment and identifies where controls are strong, where gaps may exist, and where further investigation is needed. The results are presented in a simple pass or fail format, helping you to understand the current position and prioritize your next actions. It's a straightforward way to move from assumption to evidence. Thank you for joining me today. I do hope this video has helped you understand why IBM security needs to be actively managed and how the free security audit can help establish your current position. For more information, please do contact me or visit the Proximity website at proximity.co.uk. I'm Andy Nicholson, and we're Proximity, the IBM application managed service partners that are in your corner. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.